gentlemen, Sigrid Kaag.
Yes. Hello, good morning. Well, it's been an open session. You've heard the council, you've heard myself, you've heard the briefer, and I think we're at a very difficult moment. You've heard me say the two-state solutions on life support, and with a very strong push for member states to have courage, conviction, and for peace to really win over politics. We have no other message. Situation in Gaza, of course, we discussed extensively. I mean, you've heard me speak. I don't want to waste words amidst such suffering. Edie.
Yes, Edie.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kaag. A couple of questions. First, could you answer what the Israeli ambassador said about 400 trucks being on the Kerem Shalom side and not actually moving or getting to warehouses and to people in need? I know you said that it's like a lifeboat after the ship
has sunk.
And secondly, does the UN have any information on the number of people injured and killed at the aid distribution yesterday by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation?
I think I need to answer your two questions, sadly fairly generically, because it's very dangerous to say what about this instance. I'm in New York now, my colleagues are working on the ground, they may have the latest, and the humanitarian team is issuing a statement. When it comes more generally to the UN's ability to collect and then distribute what is on or in the trucks, that has been subjected to a number of new measures or restrictions and has only hampered our very limited ability to operate in what is an active war zone, including also, of course, the humanitarian zone. The rules have changed, the drivers were vetted, then there were other measures introduced. So it's not as simple and not as black and white, they're there and the UN isn't coming. It is intrinsically more complicated. So I don't want to go into 400 trucks or 9,000 or the volume of 9,000. I think the biggest message is aid needs to be allowed in, sustained, in the volume that is needed to reach all people and allow the UN and the humanitarian partners to do their job the way they've always done and the way they do it wherever else in the world in times of conflict in accordance with international humanitarian law. We shouldn't get stuck on side roads. The high road is, does the aid reach people? Is it sustained and is it the right volume in accordance with their very broad needs, because people in Gaza need everything. It's no coincidence that I said people do not say anymore, I'll see you tomorrow, I'll see you in heaven. There's a lot of sadness and weight behind that expression. It says it all.
The Israeli ambassador said the two mechanisms would continue operating for the moment. Has Israel indicated at all to the UN as to whether the UN might get cut off and the only option is to go through the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation? Sigrid Kaag has just said in the Oval Office that they've got a new term sheet. They're hoping the president will sign off on it for a ceasefire push. Are you aware of what might be in this? Have you spoken with Mr. Witkoff? Do you share his optimism that this could be a resolution?
I think I learned one ground rule in Dutch politics. I don't comment on the comments by others, and I haven't been in the room. So I'm not going to do that. We'll need to wait to be informed. Our focus at the moment, of course, is on the assistance getting in. We're not negotiating. We obviously keep pushing for an immediate ceasefire and the unconditional release of the hostages, as well as the return of the remains. But the negotiators are dealing with this. When it comes to how long will the UN or partners be allowed to function? First of all, we were told as of 25th of May, 24th, 25th of May, the foundation would take over. Well, we've seen that. Now there's a space, it seems, where we are working in parallel. There's no cutoff date. The point is, we need to reach all people in Gaza. They shouldn't be displaced again and again just to receive aid, and it needs to be done on a daily basis in a manner that is incumbent and aligned with international humanitarian law. I'm not going to speculate about the rest. The UN's plan is very clear, and we continue to ask support for our way of working.
Ms.
Sorry.
Kaag, Kristen Salumi from Al Jazeera English. I noticed you were speaking with the U.S. Representative on the sidelines here. The UN has really been sidelined not only in the aid process but in the peace process. Can you give us any indication of your relationship with the United States officials and what your appeal to them has been?
Well, I think our appeal is not different from Party A to Party B. I think the line when it comes to realization of rights, safety and security of Israel, the need for a two-state solution, not now, not next week, it should have been achieved a long time ago. Those are, I think, principled positions by the UN. We're willing to facilitate, willing to help, we're on the ground. That doesn't differ. Earlier I've had a number of contacts with the new officials of the new US administration, but we know there is a different way of working, and we're very frequently in touch with the negotiators, particularly Egypt and Qatar. But ultimately, international consensus and legitimacy rests with the resolutions and the Council. And I think it's very fair that a number of Council members and myself referred with great emphasis to the two-state conference, co-chaired rather, by France and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, because it's a critical moment in time. It was no coincidence that I said the two-state solutions on life support, and all measures that are taken and continue to be taken, settlements, violence, housing demolitions, all risk creating a very irreversible situation that the two-state solution is no longer truly something that you can realize. Slimane Mansour's famous artwork of 1996 actually points to that. Thank you. I think it's the last question. I have to catch a plane, as always.
Jessica Lemazurier from France 24. How concerned are you that US mercenaries are now operating inside Gaza, some of them linked to that notorious firm Blackwater?
Yes.
How concerning is that for you? Are you going to speak out against it?
Well, I think the UN has spoken very clearly as to what we consider alignment and compliance with international law. That speaks to our plan. I think the privatization of aid and the weaponization of aid is a very dangerous precedent. It doesn't only speak to the situation potentially in Gaza, but worldwide. And we have to look at the things we allow, don't allow, or speak out against, or discourage. It's not only relevant to the here and the now, it is relevant to so many other conflict situations. So I would say support the UN. I'm not going to speculate about everything else I haven't seen, but it's pretty clear. Let's say the experiences of the past speak for themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you.